All right, welcome to the school board meeting. It's been properly advertised, properly posted, and it is live streaming for all those that want to observe this, and also for a lasting record. Okay, first order of business is approval of minutes. We'll just go ahead and do both of them. This will be for the Board of Finance meeting and the regular session that occurred on January 12th, 2026. So I entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the minutes, both sessions as presented.
Rob made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, next is a presentation of claims. You have the claims in your packet. At any time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Mr. President, I'm making a motion to approve the claims just as they were presented.
Nathan made a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second the motion.
Rob seconded. All in favor? 3-0, passed. Now, any patron concerns, public interest? None? Okay, now moving on to informational reports. Mr. Gerald.
I will defer to Amy Remsburg, who will give her agriculture reports.
Amy, will you back that podium up a little bit, just so that way they have a line of sight? Thank you.
Well, Sam, Rob. Okay, sorry. Thank you for letting me come this month. Sorry I could not come in January. We were at a Farm Bureau board meeting presenting. This is Career and Technical Education Month, and next week is FFA week. So it's kind of fitting that we get to come in February. So just a quick update. Oops, go back one. If it'll cooperate. Okay, just a list of our facilities, which you guys already know that we have. Our greenhouse, we have area in our shop for hydroponics. We are starting seeds in our classroom now, so we can regulate the heat better. We do have room out in the shop for lab experiments. Right now, if you walk out in there, I have small engines tore apart everywhere because we're in small engine contest season. And then this year we've done some landscape work around the school. Classes we're offering this year, I do have a capstone class, Principles of Ag for freshmen and sophomores, Animal Science, which is sophomore through senior class, ALS Animals, which is sophomores through seniors in that class also. Landscape and horticulture rotate every year. This year it's a landscape year, and then I teach the 8th grade ag rotation. Pathways, we are offering the agri-science, animal science pathway, and landscape horticulture. Curriculum we use, all of our classes are taught to national and state ag standards. For a big chunk of them, I use the CASE curriculum, which is a hands-on learning-based inquiry curriculum. For the animal science, we use the Cornell Vet Science curriculum. And then all of our high school classes are dual credit with IB Tech, to where our kids can walk out with either an animal science pathway and or the horticulture landscape IB Tech certifications. And last year I had one kid get 2 of those certifications and 1 student got 1. And just some pictures of things that are going through the room. You can't see it, but the bottom right-hand corner, that was our animal science finals. They had to make a pet and had to do all sorts of research about that animal. And who won? It's a paper mache boa constrictor. And the kid loved it. I never would have dreamed he would have done that good job on it. FFA-wise, we have 75 high school members, 15 junior high members, and then we do have a few members that are out of high school. Chapter officers this year, for 2026 are Lana Woodruff as president, Gentry Rollins as vice president, Aviana Snyder as secretary, Reese Wagler as treasurer, news reporter is Lily Henning, sentinel is Johnny Fish, student advisor is Chris Foote, historian is Brinley Swartzen-Trooper, and chaplain is Kaylin Miller. This year in October at National Convention, we were awarded a 3-star chapter. We will be applying for that again this year. Just some of the contests that we have done so far this year. There were a few things that were still tied over from last year when we presented. We did go back to soils this year because of some changes that are going to be coming through the works in the FFA world. We did crops. We did have 4 members that competed at state. Forestry, we had a junior high team that competed at state. Welding, I had 4 students compete the state contest. We have 4 kids right now practicing for district small engines March 5th. We have 25 students practicing for leadership contest. 2 members that have applied for their American degree right now. 3 that have applied for their state degree. They should get that, no problem. 9 members have filled out for district proficiency. 9 members filled out and 1 district proficiency, sorry. One of those, all of them will go to state. There is 1 we are going to hold back for next year for state. And then last year we had 1 top 4 in the state proficiency and 3 that were in the top 5. Activities that we've done so far this year, Boyd's Field Day, State Fair Work Day, concession stand, the grade school trunk or treat. We went to freshman, sophomore camp, junior, senior camp, and then just last weekend we came back from chapter officer camp. We had district kickoff, the Oden Christmas parade. This year at state convention, we actually did industry tours. We went to Caterpillar and Fair Oaks Farms and just and reproductive specialty group. This next year with convention being in Indy, we are looking at different tours we can go to. And then of course, national convention. Community service projects. We do our annual Adopt a Family. We've done the Million Meals food packing at state convention. Last year we did a farmer mental health day. This year we are doing first aid kits for farmers. And we have found out this morning that we were given a $500 grant from National FFA to help with those. We are actively working on a couple other funding sources to where we are going to pack first aid kits, and we will have a small fire extinguisher that farmers in the area will be able to get. And other upcoming events, district leadership contest in March, that is in Southbridge. Strawberry sales in March, they will be delivered in March. They finalize next week if anybody would like any strawberries. Teacher appreciation breakfast, 3rd day Ag Day. Chapter banquet will be the first Sunday of May this year. And then one thing we have been doing, not quite every month, about every other month, is my principal's class is going down to the 2nd grade, and we are reading different books to them, different agriculture books to those kids. And we had a donation for a few of those books here about a month ago. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ramsberg. Okay, next on the agenda, Mrs. Judy.
Greetings. This past month, our Cougar Cash character store was open during the week of January 21st for students to spend the Cougar Cash that they have earned for various good deeds and character that they have shown at the elementary. The Star Lab Planetarium was up and running for students in grades 4 through 6 this past week, and it was available for those in kindergarten and 3rd grade. if it was available during the times that they could go. Interstate Photos was at the elementary on Friday the 13th to take ECA pictures for our elementary yearbook, and both Mrs. Cook and I just finished up the WIDA testing at the elementary on Friday. That's for the English learners, the assessment that we give them every year. Grade level wise, first graders went to Crane back on January 21st and 22nd for STEM activities, and currently right now we are scheduling for kindergarten roundup, and kindergarten roundup is March 13th, coming up here in a few weeks. So if there's anyone out there listening, give us a call tomorrow or sometime this week and get your little one scheduled. We need about 45 minutes per kindergartner to go through all the various assessments and tours of the building. Professional development-wise, Marley Burris, our TSS from CEL, which is part of the Indiana Literacy Cadre Initiative that we are a part of. She visited our school on March 3rd and visited our K-3 classrooms and had a lot of good things to say about our teachers at North Davis Elementary. Katie Reed attended the IMEA Professional Development Conference in Fort Wayne back on January 15th through the 17th. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, Dr. Stone, curriculum and instruction.
Good evening. So, the January 19th Labor Day went really well. I'd like to thank Dr. Hancock, Ms. Jennifer Wall, Mrs. Buckeye, Mrs. Judy, Mr. Geralds, Mr. Flint, Mrs. Stuffle, Mr. Colson, Mr. Parsons, Mrs. Collins, Mrs. Fox, the Special Ed Co-op, Mrs. Marley Burris for doing sessions. I thought the day went really well, even though I wasn't here. So I was very pleased with how well it went. I think everybody stepped up, and you know, one of our goals in each one of our PDs is to make it as meaningful to everyone on the staff as we possibly can. So each time we want to keep improving. Our next PD is March 20th, right before spring break. That will be our last one for the year. And when we applied for this waiver last year, we actually got a 3-year waiver. So we get to do these 4 full days for next year and the following year. So it's nice to be able to plan these out. I think they've been a lot better than the half day or the early release or 2-hour delay, however we did them. Being able to have the full day and working with it and getting something out of it, it's been very good. Curriculum-wise, the WIDA testing been completed, just like Ms. Judy said. I want to thank Mrs. Judy, Ms. Nicole Cook, and Mrs. Beth Smith for doing that. She'll finish up at the high school this week. So the elementary's done, and the high school will be done this week. And so it's been going pretty well. Checkpoint results. I've listed, and this is only opportunity 1. I wanted to kind of explain a little bit that the state gives us these checkpoints, the 3 of them. We have 1 more coming up in March. And what they do is they tell us the standards that we need to teach during the 9 weeks, which is very helpful. Because instead of us guessing to which ones we need to work on, they're actually telling us, and they're giving us an opportunity to work on those. Opportunity 1 is adaptive tests. So that means they give them a question. If they get it right, they make it harder. And then if they get it wrong, they come back. If they get it wrong, they go down again. So what they're doing is they're trying to find out where the center point is for those students on the standard. So that's why there's no time limit. Some kids can have more questions than others based on what they're being questioned on. And so it's because it's adaptive that gives you an idea where the kids are at. The problem is the state with Opportunity 2 is not adaptive. They have picked specific standards for the students to retest on, and it's not adaptive. So those 2 aren't comparable. So we're still wading through how to use Opportunity 2 the best, because when you don't give us the same type of test, it's hard to find whether the kids got better on those. So we're just looking at the particular standard and at what level, because they're not even testing Opportunity 2. They're not even testing it at level. Some of them, they're testing it at the below level. So I think they're using that as a way just to say, hey, these are the ones you got to make sure these kids are at least at the below one. And so we've been using those and looking at it. The second thing that we've had to wade through with checkpoints is how we actually administer. It's different each time. So we've done it at the grade levels, let them choose the timing of it. At the high school, we're having issues with having enough time for the students to do it. So we're going to do it in March. We're going to actually do it at the same time we do the SAT and the PSAT 9th grade, so that we can actually make it a full day for everybody to test. So it'll be 3 different ways we've tried it at the high school to find the best way to utilize these checkpoints. And the checkpoints are not punitive, meaning they don't count towards our scores, but they do help us because they give us an idea of where the kids are at and the type of questions that you'll be getting when it comes to the summary test. So it's very important, but we're still trying to wade through that first year, exactly how to do it, what's the best way to really help us the most. I've given you some results, and I'll give you talk about the top 3, but you have them all. In math, 3rd grade math, the highest, 56%. That was 13% above state average. Our 7th grade math, 55%, 14% above state average. And our 8th grade math, 41%, 3% above state average. In ELA, 4th grade ELA was 49%, 12% above state average. 6th grade, 48%, 11% above state average. And then 5th and 3rd grade both tied at 45% for 3rd, with the 3rd grade having 11% above state average and the 5th grade being 7% above state average. So just like anything else with our data points, when you just look at raw scores, we say we're at 56%, you don't think that's terrible. No, it's not. It's very consistent. It's actually pretty high compared to the state, because when you're looking at the state scores, you're not going to be getting up in the 80s and 90th percentile. No one in the state is going to do that. So you can see when we compare it to state average, we're doing very well. The state average is not always our main piece we look at it, but we want to be a lot higher than that. But it's also a good metric to look at right here to see where we're at. Technology-wise, Dakota and James are etching and enrolling in inventory the new Chromebooks that arrived this month. We always try to get them right when the new year starts so that we have them ready for next year. It takes the thing off of our plate this summer, so all those devices will be ready to go for next year. Another thing we're doing is we're working on adding a Lightspeed parent portal, which is going to be outstanding, because what this is going to allow is the parents to go on and look at what their students are actually looking at during the day, what websites they're on. They can actually look at just their kids, of what sites they're looking at through the day. So when a teacher says that they're getting on YouTube a lot and all that, now the parent's actually going to be able to go on and look and say, what are they looking at? What are they really doing? You know, how are they utilizing it? Because no matter how well we do with our monitoring system and our teachers, you can't catch everything. And so this is just going to be another layer for our teachers, our parents to feel that the students are being safe at school and they are doing what they're supposed to. And then what we ask is, anytime a parent sees a site that shouldn't be used by students, they need to tell us so that we can block it. Because every day out there, somebody's building a new one that the kids can find. And then they post them either on Snap or on TikTok. So how to get around the filter, how to see this, how to play games at school. So it's a constant battle. It's going to give us another layer. Secondly, what it's going to do is, because of our student devices, when school days open, we open them up more. Now, we still don't allow the inappropriate things to go through. Our filter still blocks that. The things that school may say aren't appropriate, parents may say, yes, they are. So the filter's opened up. Well, now this parent portal is going to allow them to go to their individual student, and once school's out, they'll be able to actually change that. So if they don't want them on YouTube in the evening on their school device, they can shut it off. If they don't want them on social media, they can shut those off. So it's going to be another layer of giving the parents some control of their student device that we give them. Now, it's not going to control their phones or anything at home, just on our student devices. So we think it's going to be a great way to get that done. I should have it up and going within the next month. So we're very close. We're working with Harmony so that they can export the teacher's email or the parents' emails and stuff, type to students so they can log in and create themselves an account and look at their students. So once we have that all set up, it'll be up and running, and we'll send some information out via Facebook with Mrs. Stuffle, through the parents or through the teachers. We'll send out probably a call, let people know about what we have so they can get signed up to utilize it. That's all I got. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Our next superintendent, Mrs. Berry.
I'm going to, in just 1 minute, I'm going to defer to Daryl to give us an HVAC plant update. The main news that I have is two things. As everybody knows, we're not in school today, and we will not be in school May 8th. The state did grant a waiver process where schools could apply to get up to 2 days back. We applied and received our 2 snow days back. So should we get any more weather by the end of February, we still have May 8th to fall back on, and 1 more asynchronous learning day. The other item is the tag submission has been sent to the state. That was due in late January. We did have 21 teachers apply for the Teacher Appreciation Grant, and all 21 did meet level 1 criteria, tier 1 criteria. So as we told the teachers, if it was a tie, we were drawing names out of a hat. So we did have 11 names that were submitted. Those teachers have been notified. They've been submitted for that $3,500 from the state, but we haven't received word from the state yet that they blessed our submission. The state has until April 14th to refuse any of the names and qualifying areas that we submitted. But we did have 11 teachers submitted, and I've given you that list there just as an FYI. Should the state come back and deny one of the names based upon their criteria, then Barry and I would go back and get another name. So we obviously have kept the list and their supporting documentation. The second item that I have is I've asked Daryl Wagler, our head of maintenance, to attend tonight and just give us an update on the HVAC plant and the ever-changing need and monitoring that it requires. Even before I had asked Daryl to come in, we also later in the agenda have a preventative maintenance agreement update with Alpha. So if you do have questions about that, Daryl's here for that as well. So Daryl, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, good evening. A lot has been happening, as probably your updates from Jody, you've probably seen in emails some things here lately, but as Jody and I have been talking, you have awarded several contracts, and we kind of want to give you an update on that. A little bit of a follow-up on some board meetings in the past. You had asked us to get the Stefano group, and we had reached out to the Stefano group and gotten Tim Gudorf involved. He has been involved in our latest efforts on getting some contracts written and efforts on getting some things moving, mostly with the data harvesting on our electrical system at the elementary. We are in our 3rd week in that right now with Mountains Electric. They've got a lot of equipment down there in our main distribution panel, and they're actually reading different things. They've got me turning things off. They've got turning things on at certain times to see which motors and which pumps, which parts of the plant is causing our issues on running our energy bill at the elementary. So looking forward to having some good data from Mounts on that. Alpha is working with us on it. Like I say, Tim Gudorf with Stefano Group is involved there too. We had awarded Alpha a contract with the energy recovery wheels on the main air handlers in the mezzanines, and those should go in the next 2 weeks. I know they were going to hopefully secure the parts and the material for that early this week, and they're looking to try and get that done in the next 2 weeks. The other one of the other ones we had worked on was the controls for the pumps, for the VFDs and the controls. While we had the snow going on, we were able to get with the IT department here. Dakota got us set up on the IT side to be able to marry that with the high school system. We're working on that. And then Doug with Alpha has started building the programming on it, and this next week, the next 2 weeks, they will be here physically putting the controls in and everything, and then he will bring everything in together. Also, one last one, we had awarded a refractory to be installed on the Airco boiler, and that is complete, and so that was up and running. So, any other questions?
Doesn't look like it.
Everything's working, right?
Everything's working right now. So,
I'm not
yeah.
going further than that.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Everything's working right now.
The issue that we had this past week with the high school.
On the boilers, yes. So, I forget which one that was.
Had
Was it
been
Thursday?
Monday or Tuesday, or Wednesday, because I was here, so.
Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning, I walked in and realized the boilers were down at the high school. And we had lost a boiler management control for the 2 Airco boilers and the pumps and everything like that. And that management control reads the outside temperatures and brings everything up to those percentages so that it keeps the building warm when the outside temperatures are going down and everything. We lost that control. It was put in 2009, and for some reason, in the middle of the morning, where I'm estimating somewhere in the proximity of about 4 a.m., the main feed going into that panel, into that control, literally just blew up like a resistor inside of it. Of course, it being an 09 model, guess what? It's not made anymore. Gotten some preliminary figures on that, and it's just outrageous. Alpha is actually looking at the possibility of how we have updated our systems here, of being able to go ahead and marry that part of the control into the existing system we had, saving us probably somewhere, and I'm still doing some work, but I'm saying probably saving us somewhere in the neighborhood of $7,000 to $10,000 just on one control. So, and we don't even want to talk about the other price of the other control. So they're looking into that right now. So I don't have definite numbers for that. But like I say, Alpha, I can't say enough for them again. Always looking to help us save and operate more efficiently. So, and like I say, keeping Goodorf on our side too is very important. So I appreciate everything y'all do for us.
Hey, real quick, Darrell, about that wastewater issue that we had in the freezing pipes.
Yep.
I know that got corrected. It was pretty extreme temperature for several days.
Several days.
They going to do anything to, did they insulate that better, or they put a heat tape in it to prevent that? In the future?
So I need to follow up with Jeff Farmer with the Bynum Fine. I need to follow up with him. He was going to have his guys insulated, and I need to make sure that's been done. And he had indicated that if we had a problem again, that then they could put a heat tape on it or something along that line. But grade school was built, what, 2002?
Yeah.
It's been in there since then. This is the first time we've had that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a combination of us not being in session,
Yes.
so we weren't pumping,
Yes.
and the extreme cold.
Yep. Just the perfect storm. Yep. Got us. So, but we got it going, and that was a little bit of a gut check, but yeah, we got it up and going.
Thank you.
And thank you.
All right, moving on to personnel. There's no terminations or retirements, resignations.
2 resignations. Kaylee Griffith did resign from the special education co-op, which means she also resigned from the 2 additional hours that North Davies pays, and that was effective January 14th. And then Megan Johnson is leaving our food service at the elementary, effective February 6th.
Okay, entertain a motion to accept these resignations as presented.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the resignations as presented.
Rob made a motion. Do I have a second? Nathan seconds, all in favor? Passes 3-0. All right, no leaves, on the hires, Barry.
Athletics, Stacy did include the list as submitted by John Mullen and ultimately approved by Mr. Gerald. And I'm trying to see if there's anything elementary. Renee, were you, I don't know if Renee was included in this list because I think it's all high school right now.
Possibly 2 for Macville.
Okay, yeah, and those are later during non-academic, yes. So, very lengthy list. Some of the coaches were previously approved, but stipends were not possibly listed. So you have the stipends and names, et cetera, for softball, baseball, golf, boys golf, tennis, and boys and girls track. Do you want me to read through all of those? Okay, I appreciate that. It's
No.
lengthy.
Well, you can see the list for softball, baseball,
Yeah, it's
junior
broken.
high, and varsity, golf, tennis, and track. So all the upcoming sports. So you guys want to do any of these sports individually or group? If you have any objection, I'm going
I'm fine with
to
that.
entertain a motion to approve the whole list.
I'll make a motion to,
Okay, Rob makes a motion to approve all the ECA positions.
Second.
Nathan seconds. All in favor? 3-0, passes.
And then we have additional academic ECA hires. Mrs. Judy is recommending, and as well as myself, we are recommending Trinity Gingrich and Olivia Hudson to sponsor the math bowl team at the elementary.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation. So I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the math bowl recommendations just as they're presented.
Nathan made a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Rob seconded. All in favor? 3-0, pass.
Then an additional non-certified hire, Bradley Neese was recently hired by the special ed co-op as a special ed para at the high school. And as typical, we offer, that's just for 5.5 hours through the co-op. The corporation offers an additional 2 hours a day to make it a full day. So recommending Bradley Neese for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week at $15.84 an hour as a high school special ed para.
You've heard the recommendation. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the non-certified hire of Bradley Neese.
Nathan made a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Rob seconded. All in favor? Pass 3-0. Okay, on to other business.
Other business, I am recommending that we make a one-time stipend payment to Juanetta Boo for the 24-25 school year for all of the work that she did as our language interpreter translated for multiple Spanish-speaking families. This is something that starting this 25-26 school year will be handled by the contract because it's in the actual teacher's contract in the CBA. But for the 24-25 school year, I did ask for Ronetta to submit to me what she has done, and I do have that for anybody's reading. It is literally a packet of all the work that she put in to help with our families that do not speak English. So requesting that we pay her the same contractual amount of $2,505 for the 24-25 school year.
Jody, do you know how many hours that was? Several, I'm sure.
Several. I mean, her summary is 4 pages, single-spaced. I can get you that, but I don't have it up.
Probably, just guessing, 50 hours?
Oh, I'd say it's way more than that.
Okay.
This is also work that's usually not done just during the school day. They're texting of an evening. I got a text over the weekend. Actually, I was in Texas, and we had one of our parents needing to get a hold of one of our high school teachers. So Ronetta said they just reached out to her, and it was like, I forget what hour of an evening. So I know it's outside of the school day. My guess is it's in the hundreds.
Okay.
That comes out of the education.
Correct, it comes out of the education fund.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation. I'll accept a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Rob made a motion. I have a second.
Yep.
Nathan seconded. All in favor? 3-0 pass. Okay, on to operational expenditures, capital projects.
Okay, operational expenditures. We currently have a preventative maintenance agreement with Alpha Energy Solutions that involves just our building management system, which is the portal that allows it to talk to us. We've had that maintenance agreement for, I think this is year 3, maybe, going in. It was up for renewal in January. We did renew that in January, but with all of the continuous issues that we seem to be having with the boilers and the chillers, we did ask Alpha to get us a recommendation on what it would be to include the boilers and the chillers in that preventative maintenance. In your board packets, the first page is the standard PMA that we have on just the building management system. On page 8 are the dollar amounts, which I relisted on your agendas. We've been having these items, and I'm going to ask Daryl to chime in and update or correct anything I may say. We've been having them inspected, and Alpha has been doing that for us, and we've been calling them when we have issues, but this puts us on their list, and we will become a priority when we call. We got lucky the one Sunday that we had to call for the elementary, and they picked up and came in. If they're swamped, there's not necessarily a guarantee that they're going to come help us if we don't have a PMA. So it is substantial, as you can see. Our current building management plan is a little over $5,760. To add the elementary boilers will be another $4,028. To add the elementary chiller would be $2,108. And to add the high school boilers would be an additional $4,028. So all in, the alternatives would increase our current PMA by $10,164 a year. So when you add the current PMA and adding these 3 alternates, we're looking at close to $16,000 a year. Something that they do, they've listed in here for you that the timeline for them to come in and do their assessments of those devices are listed. It seems to be either in October or May, depending on the equipment. The one thing, Daryl, you were going to try to find out, this also includes the recommended factory annual maintenance kit.
$1,600 each.
So,
It's included in this contract.
okay, so the recommended factory annual maintenance kit, each, when you say each, is that per boiler or?
Yep.
So this is adding 5 items, 2 boilers at the elementary, 2 boilers at the high school, and a chiller at the, would not be the,
Just the boilers.
just the boilers.
Yeah.
So if we needed to do that preventative maintenance kit times 4, that's already built into this.
Correct.
So that in itself is a potential savings that would be rolled into the PMA that we wouldn't have to pay out of pocket. And what was that price again? Daryl,
$4,028 for each building,
what was the maintenance kit?
$1,600 each.
So on page 6 of the agreement, you'll notice I put an asterisk beside number 17 on page 6. That was a reminder, Daryl was trying to get that price from them when I left Wednesday, so.
That adds quite a bit of value to that.
Have you ever put those in before?
Yes.
Those fact,
Yes.
The preventative measures.
have we done it every year or just as needed?
As needed.
When was the last time we needed that?
2 years ago, and it was actually done by a different company, and it was not done correctly. We just discovered that when they took everything apart this past year, and then we awarded the refractory to go back in, so.
If you remember, within the last 2 years, we left a previous company to go with Alpha
Yeah.
because of the lack of
Support.
and professionalism and efficiency. So,
This is kind of that follow-up.
so we haven't needed the maintenance kit for,
Correct.
we didn't need it last year,
Correct.
but should we need it, it would be included. So it's not a guaranteed savings, it's a
This is being
potential.
proactive, trying to be proactive on keeping those operational.
So this here is the renewal, the current renewal of Alpha. That is we've been in place for 2 or 3 years now, or this?
Just page 1
Yeah,
is
page one.
what has been historically done for 2 years.
The
The bill, just the very first page.
So then we're adding the elementary boilers, the chillers, and 2 more boilers, is that correct?
Correct, at the high school.
alternate 1, 2, or 3, yes.
With the total being 15,924.
Correct.
And that would give you a lot more ease of mind on how things are operating,
Yes, more security.
and is gonna get us on the list if something happens, we're gonna be able to have support really quick.
Kind of a retainer idea, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Yeah. Daryl, Jody mentioned that Alpha had been performing some of what is on this alternate plan, but when they had the time, were they charging outside of our, that it says in here, any additional work would be, subject to service contract rates, so we're paying extra for that work that they did?
Correct.
Do you have any idea of how much we paid outside of our,
I
Maintenance.
don't have those numbers, to be honest with you.
yeah?
So
Is it in the amount of
the
$10,000?
original agreement would just been on IT for the building management system.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of this other work that we've had them doing, we would have been paying them, per hour, time and material.
In addition to, and we can get those numbers, and the reason it's not as easy as pulling up in our financial system and just looking at Alpha is what other equipment does Alpha work on that's not covered by this PMA?
A lot. Where we've been giving them the contracts to replace a lot of the controls on the aging airco systems on the roof here.
So the rooftop units?
Yeah, a lot of times they will utilize some of these BMS hours to help us on that idea, and working on those too, so.
Because currently under our BMS hours, we get 4 hours a month, and if we don't use those, they're banked.
They're back, yes.
So like if we don't use 4 hours during the month of March, they'll roll it over to April. And in addition to doing our BMS and also helping with chillers and boilers, they're also servicing our rooftop units. And the rooftop units have nothing to do with this.
Correct.
So I can get you those financial numbers, but it's not as easy as just researching what have we paid Alpha.
We're getting an additional 4 hours a month for each of the alternates that we're doing, so are we gonna have 20 hours a month?
No, just the
16
alternates,
hours a month.
like one time in October, I believe, and then one time in
Yeah, there's an,
like April. something like that.
How many, maybe you already said it, maybe it's in here, how many boilers do we have between the 2 schools
4.
that are gonna get this? 4 of them?
3 will get the refractory, the maintenance kit. But the other old one, the Brian, will get the sensors checked on them and replaced if needed.
and the old Bryan one is in what building?
Elementary. And it is a 2002 model.
So when it was installed in 2002, it was already antiquated, well, not antiquated, but was not a newer system.
Right.
So just a little over $8,000 is for alternate 1 and 3. And just looking at that list, I mean, a lot of that stuff is just pretty simple little I know you're really capable, Daryl, that's why I'm asking this. It just looks like pretty simple stuff that maybe we could,
But it's one of those things that the technician will come in and perform all those bullet points and then do his combustion analysis at the end and be able to say, yes, this boiler is performing to this point and it's doing its job.
so there's some things on this list that are getting done that are going to require some tools or things like that we don't have here.
Airco trained technicians, correct. Excuse me, like this bullet point 17, this kit that we're talking about, we can't buy that kit. It has to go through a Airco trained tech.
So to do some of these certificational checks, they have to have that certification.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
All right, you've heard the recommendation. I'd say we split this in two and do the preventive maintenance agreement, the renewal, and then
Well,
do the alternates.
the renewal BMS was already approved because it's less than $5,000, so it does not require board approval, and it was a withstanding agreement that we'd already approved. So the
Right.
$5,760 has already been done. We did that in January.
Okay, now, I guess the recommendation is from Ms. Berry and Mr. Wagler is for the alternates, so I'll entertain a motion at this point.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the recommendations for alternates 1, 2, and 3.
Nathan made a motion, do I have a second?
I will second the motion.
All in favor? 3-0, pass. And thanks for the discussion there.
And then just to clarify, this is annual, and we can cancel with 3 days' notice. So if we get into this and we feel like we're not getting our money's worth, et cetera, we have the right to cancel that the following year. So it is a 1-year commitment, and
Will
that's
we be
it.
doing this in quarterly payments?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing it in quarterly payments.
Okay.
Who made that motion? Thank you. Okay.
All right, future meeting dates.
Don't forget, March 10th is on there for executive session. If we need to move any of these times or dates, just make sure we get advance notice to alert newspapers and get it on our school website.
Jen said, we can talk about it afterwards, but try to figure out a time and get it properly posted. But I know I won't be able to make the March 16th date.
We can do that in the AM as well,
Yeah, I can do the AM.
and I'm fine with that. I
What
don't know
about
about the other president.
Anything's fine, whatever.
I'll just tell you, AM's fine for me right now. I need to check with the others too.
Okay. Let's double check, March 10th evening still okay for executive?
You want to do that in the AM? I'm fine with that as well.
Oh, yeah, 4:30 regular session.
Yeah, I mean, and we're flexible too.
I'm just learning I'm probably not going to be able to do that.
That's okay. And I think we need to check with the other 2 board members, so the dates may be okay, but we may need to move them to a morning meeting. So we'll check with the other 2 members as well and figure that out and get that posted appropriately. Your executive session is just going to be with me and Dr. Stone,
Yeah.
so I'll make sure he's available in the morning as well.
All right.
At 6:30 be change that to 7 AM at that point.
Possibly, yeah, I want to double check with the other 2 board members just to make
Okay.
sure. yes, it would be, I would recommend 7 a.m. for the times,
All right.
if we have to move them.
All right, we've conducted all of our business, so accept the motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Ron made a motion, have a second? Nathan seconds, all in favor? 3-0 pass.